Mozart there. That's, no, that's not music by Mozart. What am I saying? It's music by Johann Christian Bach. They were friends. But anyway, that's the symphony in E flat, the first movement, with the Bournemouth Sinfonietta and Kenneth Montgomery directing. You're listening to Music and Company on CBC Radio 2. I'm Tom Allen. It's 18 minutes to 9, 12 past the hour in Newfoundland. I feel an affinity with the harp, and not just because one of my favorite people in the world happens to play the harp, but it's the trombone instrument that I play shares one thing in common with the harp that I can think of, and that is that composers like to write glissandi for both trombones and for harpists. Trombone, because it's the thing that is pretty obvious. One thing that the trombone can do is it can slide without any break between one note and the other quite easily. And the harp can do that with an entirely different effect. When the trombone does that, it's a kind of a raucous, barroom kind of sound. When the harp plays glissandi, it sounds like heaven, according to sort of popular determination. That sort of gentle whooshing sound is like, oh, it's a Hallmark card moment. All of a sudden, everything's fine. Now, Harry Summers, to his credit, chooses to start this fourth move with lots of glissandi, but it doesn't sound particularly heavenly. There's a little bit of chaos going on there, which is kind of fun. Chopin, that's the second piano concerto, the last movement. That was Marta Argerich with Charles Dutoit directing the Montreal Symphony. That's our show for today. Stay tuned for news at the top of the hour, 1:30 in Newfoundland. Lots more on the way this morning. There's news next, and then here's to you. Great music all day and all night long. We have a cage match coming tomorrow morning. It's right for the middle of January. It's wistful waltzes or brooding waltzes, depending on your approach. So tune in tomorrow morning for that. I'm Tom Allen. I'll see you then.
Herself a drinker, a thinker, and voice of the lonely. Well, the lonely never sounded so good. Amelia Curran on the next Canada Live, performing songs from her acclaimed album, War Brides. It's an evening of love, love lost, no love. And everything in between. Songwriter Amelia Curran on Canada Live at 8 p.m., 8:30 in Newfoundland. Weekdays on CBC Radio 2. Eric Friesen brings you music for midday on Studio Sparks.
I've often felt that the best antidote to a gloomy midwinter day is Dvorak's 8th Symphony. A symphony that is all bird song and sunshine and pleasant warm breezes. When next we meet, I'll have a concert performance of Dvorak 8 with the Cleveland Orchestra led by Yvonne Fisher.
Studio Sparks with Eric Friesen on CBC Radio 2. You're listening to CBC Radio 2, 103.3 in Ottawa, Gatineau. Everywhere music takes you.
Is CBC News. I'm Martina Fitzgerald.
Here with flags at half-mast and church services filled. At one church, parishioners hugged Mayor Stephen Brunette as he prepared to arrange for a public funeral at the local recreation center.
I'll try to make it not look like a rake so much, so we'll have to do some work at that. There's a great team put in place for that, and all the caskets will be brought
play for public mourning on Tuesday. The funeral takes place Wednesday afternoon. At the high school, students gathered within hours of the crash and remained for much of the weekend. Grade 12 student Matthew Nini says it's been difficult.
Everyone has taken it very, very hard, but we've all pulled together, and it goes to show that in a town the size, of course, there's this familial aspect, especially in the school, and we've all pulled together like we're one big family.
Psychologists will remain here this week to help the students through the loss of a popular music teacher and the 7 members of the Phantoms basketball team they once cheered. Ross Jessam, CBC News, Bathurst.
Rocky, but the mystery about Mercury is that it's really dense. It's this like heavy-duty little planet. It's almost like the Earth with the crust that's been